This day in boxing history. Hello, fight fans. Coach Nathan of NS Champ 7 Part Boxing Series at nschamp7.com with a look back on April 6, 1987 at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. And that's a look at another major upset in the wonderful world of professional prize fighting. And that's when former Olympic gold medalist and 5 division world champion and Hall of Famer Sugar Ray Leonard, whose record is 36 wins, 3 defeats, 1 draw, with 25 by way of knockout, upset the king of the middleweight division with a split decision victory over one of the most dominant champions of all time. And that's former Undisputed Middleweight Champ and Hall of Famer Marvelous Marvin Hagler, whose record is 62 wins, 3 defeats, 2 draws, with 52 by way of knockout. Now, to get a better understanding of the magnitude of this event, it starts with what made the combatants who they were and what got them to this point of their careers. Undisputed champ Hagler was an outstanding amateur boxer, having won the National AAU Boxing Championships in 1973. He also won the Most Outstanding Fighter Award from that tournament. He then turned pro under veteran trainers Goody and Pat Petronelli. And that's in Brockton, Massachusetts, where he lived, which was also the home of another legendary world champion, and that was undefeated heavyweight champ Rocky Marciano. Marvin worked his way to the top, training and fighting just about all year round, and he beat whoever they put in front of him. He won the title in September of 1980 against Britain's Alan Minter in Alan's backyard in Wembley Arena, with a third-round demolition-style TKO, which caused the pro-Minter crowd, who was mad at the stoppage, to shower the Hagler corner while they were still in the ring with bottles and cans, causing them to need a police escort out of the ring and out of the arena. By the time he got to the Leonard fight, Marvin held the title for 6.5 years, legally changed his first name to Marvelous, and acquired the highest knockout percentage of all undisputed middleweight champions in history, and that's at 78%. And in the process, he had beaten 4 world champions in Alan Minter, Vito Antuofermo, Roberto Duran, and Tommy the Hitman Hearns, stopping all but one, and that was Duran. Leonard, on the other hand, he certainly paid his dues as well to get to the top. First, by being one of America's most decorated amateur boxers, winning the Pan American Games in 1975. He was also a 2-time national AAU champion and a 2-time national Golden Gloves champion, culminating his amateur career with a gold medal in the 1976 Montreal Olympics. Now, one of the great things I, as well as other Leonard fans, always admired about him was that he defied the image that his critics said of him at the time, that he was a media creation from the Olympics and with a pretty boy persona that would wilt under the first test of adversity. Nothing could be further from the truth, as he displayed throughout his career that his competitive nature was second to none. And you check out his knockouts and you'll clearly see that he was one of the best, if not the best finisher of his era. And he got to that point, his fight with Hagler along the way. He had won 2 world championships in welterweight and junior middleweight, and he beat 4 world champions as well in the process, in Wilfred Benitez, Roberto Duran, Ayub Kalule, and Tommy Hearns, having stopped all 4, 3 of which were undefeated, and that's Benitez, Kalule, and Hearns. However, in this match against Marvelous Marvin, he was a huge underdog not only because he was moving up in weight, but only had 1 fight in 5 years after being forced to retire due to a detached retina. And that 1 fight was against welterweight Kevin Howard, who had 20 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. Now, in that fight, Leonard was knocked down and hurt in the 4th round. before rallying to stop Howard in the ninth round. So the conventional wisdom was, if he got hurt by that guy, how's he going to survive against a bigger, harder punching, dominant champion after all that inactivity and moving up in weight? Likewise, the odd makers, they had the fight 3-1 favoring Hagler, who was guaranteed $11 million. Sugar Ray was guaranteed $12 million. And at the end of all the pay-per-view receipts, it was calculated that each man made somewhere around $20 million. The beginning of the fight was filled with anticipation, with most experts wondering how long would Leonard last, as most predicted he would not go past 9 rounds. Matter of fact, a poll of sports writers before the match, 46 out of 50 picked Hagler to win. As it turned out, Leonard showed surprisingly good durability. After taking some good shots from Hagler throughout the fight, he kept throwing flurries and using his lateral movement to the fight's end. However, a lot of the rounds were close and hard to score. At least for me, that is. The match could have easily been scored a draw. And with that kind of an outcome, it should have been a rematch. As that turned out, Marvelous Marvin waited a year, then retired in 1988. Leonard afterward called for the rematch, but it was too late since Hagler, and this is reported by his promoter, Bob Arum, is saying he had lost interest and he had moved to Italy and had started a new life in acting. In preparation for the fight in the year leading up to it, it was revealed that Leonard fought 4 warm-up bouts in secret, which was unknown to Hagler or the media. And he won all 4 of those, and was reported 2 of those by knockout. Now, concerning the long-running debate as who really won between the two, I personally cannot argue with Hagler fans who claim he won. Because once again, the fight could have went either way or had been a draw. Both men are 2 of my most favorite fighters, and it still saddens me somewhat when thinking about the untimely passing of Marvelous Marvin Hagler, which was 3 years ago at 66 years of age. But as a fan and a trainer, it's good to know that his legacy in the sport will last as long as boxing lasts. And that's as a shining example for young and up-and-coming fighters on how to approach the fight game in and out of the ring. And he was a Class A human being who always took care of and loved his family as well. So, that's my take on this historical boxing match, April 6, 1987, Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, Nevada, between Marvelous Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard. But don't forget, for elite boxing instruction, elite boxing analysis, and elite boxing philosophy, click that like and notification button and subscribe to NS Champ 7 Part Boxing Series at nschamp7.com.